In this video, I'm going to show some examples of how to multiply whole numbers by decimals. If you are using traditional multiplication, make sure that you put the factor that you're multiplying that has more digits on top, and then line everything up on the right-hand side, ignoring place value. So on question 1, we want to put the 0 and 1900ths on top and then 63 on the bottom, and we're going to ignore that the place values are not lined up. Now technically on this problem we could have put the 63 on top, because I'm actually not going to ever multiply the 0 that's in the ones place. It's just a placeholder. But on questions like number 2, you will need to make sure that you put the factor with the greater number of digits on the top of your problem. So before I start, I want to show you an example of why this will work. So we have 1900ths times 63 over 1. And if we were doing this as a fraction problem, we could multiply out 19 times 63 and then do it over 100 times 1. And then when we multiply this out, I have 19 times 63. And I'll do this really quickly. It looks like I have 1,197, and the denominator will be 100. So that means I need to take 1,197, and I need to divide it by 100. But because our place value system is based on the number 10, when I divide numbers by 10, the digits will just move or shift one place value to the right. What I mean by that is, if I wanted to divide 1,197 by 10, I could take 1,197 and just move it over one digit to the right, and it becomes 119.7. Now, in this problem, I want to divide 1,197 by 100. So instead of moving it over one place value, I'm going to move it over two place values, and our answer then to that problem is 11.97. If we go back to the original problem up here, you'll notice that this problem right here is exactly the same thing as I have down here. The only difference is that this 19 is actually in its correct place value. What I did down here is I did multiply 19 wholes by 63 wholes. I wanted to multiply 1900ths. So the only thing that I left out was this part, the dividing by 100. And that's you can always do that. You can ignore the decimals as long as you can remember how many place values you're going to need to divide by at the end. And in this case, I had 1 10, 2 10s, so I had 2 10s that I needed to shift my digits at the end of the problem, because I was dividing by 2 powers of 10. So all I did is I multiplied this out, got 1,197, and then I shift my digits 2 places to the left, so I get 11.97. Let's look at question number 2. We have 0 and 446 thousandths multiplying by 25. Now, if I were to do this the way I just did before, 446 over 1,000 times 25 over 1, you can see that really what I'm just going to do in this problem is I'm going to multiply 446 times 25, and then I'm going to shift my digits over by 3 powers of 10, because there are 1, 2, 3 digits behind the decimal place in this original problem. So what I like to do when I'm doing these is I just out to the side, I write myself three digits that I'm going to shift over. And I usually just circle that somewhere out to the side to remind myself. And then I just change this problem into 446 times 25. And I go ahead and multiply, assuming that, or acting like that they are whole numbers. So we got 22 there, 12, 9, and then 8. So it looks like we've got 11,150, but I need to then shift this over 3 place values. So 1, 2, 3. So my answer is going to be 11 and 150 thousandths. We can always check this by estimating as well. 446 thousandths is about a half. So if we multiplied a half times 25, we should get about 12 and a half. And I've got something that's slightly smaller than that, but 446 thousandths is slightly smaller than a half. So my answer of 11.15 is reasonable. That is answer choice B. And question 3, we have 49 thousandths times 27 wholes. So if I were to work this out with fractions, this would be 49 over 1,000 times 27 over 1, which proves to us that we can just multiply the whole numbers and then shift the place values 3 places. So I'm going to do 49 times 27. 28 and 6 is 34. 18 and then 9. So I have 1,323, but I wanted to shift the place values over 3 places. 1, 2, 3. So my answer becomes 1.323, 1 and 323 thousandths.